So we should all be okay. Right, so can you see my screen? Yeah, okay, good. So this is a Nubooks website. So when you come here, you need to log in. You click on login. You should have a username and password when you log in. For this test, we've already got a username and password, so we're putting it through. Make sure you get the right password. And you log in. I'll create a demo for you guys, so you will have each a demo account, so you can actually show people around. Everything comes with a two-factor authentication, so you need to log in with a two-factor authentication, and then you will get a blank sheet. So there'll be no income, no expenses, nothing. And here you have to set up. So there's always a quick setup. So you have to choose your local currency, which in this case is going to be MRU, the field of your work, finance. If you have a VAT, you'll put VAT, and then you put the rate, which is 15%. In Mauritius, there's an exempt rate of 0, and then there's a no VAT as well. You just put your VAT number and your BRN number, and you can also upload your logo. But we'll save that first. Then we'll upload the logo. You can choose which logo you want to upload from your company. Just upload this one, and you can save it. Then you do your financial year, which is always depending on the financial year. We do from the 1st of January 2024 to the 31st of 12, 2024. And then you have your chart of accounts. So you'll have a few banks already, but you can always add one. You add one is quite easy. You just put the number. It's always have to be sequential. So it's 10 300. So you'll have to put 10 400 for next. Then let's say we put State Bank of Mauritius. Then we'll put the base currency for this would be MRU, and then we save it. The reason why we have the base currency when we have multiple currency, we will have to do the same thing. But at the moment, not everyone's got multiple currency, but when they do, they will have to choose which base currency they are using. That's why we have the base currency method. So just so that we know what currency they are using and what currency they are. We can set up another account. It's easy to create another account, and we can call it MCB current account. Press save. So these bank accounts have already been created. Obviously, this one I forgot to put MUR. I'll put MUR here. I can change it to any currency, but once I've changed it, you will not be able to update it. So with multiple currency, you can only choose it once and that's it. Because otherwise you're going to make a mess. So when people already set up their accounts, they're happy with everything, they press save. And then they will come to invoice settings. Again, see here, invoice setting, they can put the term in payment. So 30 days from invoice date. Then you put footer, company registration number. I'll just put a fictitious number. Term and condition, please see attach. The conditions. You can also upload your logo. You can upload the same logo, or you can upload a new logo. And you can have a signature as well. So if you want to have two types of logo, you can upload it here. Press save. And then here you can choose when your bill wants to start. You want your bill to start at 10025 or 1001 or 1000. And you apply the settings and the bill will start from that. So if we start, we will create. So our system uses AI for data extraction. So if we start, we upload some invoices to show how the data extraction will work. So upload the invoices. We'll have a place where we'll have all the invoices. We can actually just select them. And it's going to be on the file that we're going to give it to you as well. So invoices, you can just upload those invoices. System will upload it and say, okay, that's too much. Too much. No, so I'm putting too much. So let's upload one at a time. I think these one are quite big. That's why probably. Yeah. So upload one at a time. But normally you could do 20 if you don't have the size issue, which I've basically at the moment I've done the size issue because I've uploaded them with quite higher image. But normally you will not upload it at higher quality, you will upload it at a very low quality. But that's because I'm using the iPhone to do that. So once you've uploaded all your invoices, you will see it get pending here because these invoices are being processed. So now we're going to show you how to make a quotation. So you can make a quote for a customer, which you can turn into an invoice. So for example, if we're going to make a quote for a company in Mauritius, let's say we're going to make a quote for Jumbo Supermarkets. We'll put a BRN number, put a VAT number, and we'll put an email address. We can send the quote there, and we'll press and save. So Jumbo will get a quote. We can put a reference, test, for example. We can put a term if we want. Then we can select the account as well. We can put quantity as well, if we choose to. And here we're just going to put sales. Let's say we said with quantity, it's going to be sales. And we bought 10 at £150. There's VAT of 15%. And then you press and save it. You can also attach the term and condition that we talked about. So you can always attach a term and condition here. For our customers, we have a term and condition. You can attach that, upload it onto the system, and then we can save it. So from the quote, now we can open that. We can send that to the client. So we can action, send an email to the client, and the client will get the email as a quote. This email will arrive in this format. And once we get the email, you can see the email arrive here. We can click on the email, and thus the client on this side would be able to look at it and say, okay, actually, I want to download it, I don't want to download it, I want to accept it, I don't want to accept it. So you can do all that. Once the code is accepted, just need to close it. You can see the term and condition here and the subscription. So once the client has accepted it, you can update it. You can see the client has accepted it. Now we can create action, and one of the actions we can create is we can create an invoice. Once we create an invoice, it's going to sit on your sales overview. So here there's an invoice for this amount, and what we'll do is we'll wait for the customer to pay us, and then we'll do the transaction. And in the meantime, we've got these uploads that we've sent earlier. This is getting processed. As you can see, some of them has already been successful. One of them is pending. So we'll check what's happened. So this has been successful, but the system doesn't know which organization it is. So we need to map these organizations. So the way we do that is we go into settings, supplier accounts, and then we can map these organizations one by one. That's why they haven't been able to do that. So they need to be mapped. So we check into it. We said, okay, this one is cost of sales purchases. Now we'll do that. Then the system will automatically pick it up and process it. This one we can set the same thing, cost of sales purchases. Okay. This system, we should only do it once. Once we've done it, the system will understand that we don't need to do it again. So for example, this is sundry, or this is equipment expense. We just put it as equipment expense and we save it. So next time, everything that comes through will come as equipment expense. Okay, so this is how we do that. So if we come back to our uploads now, you will see that one of them is pending. We'll check on that. It's because it's checked active by Mighty, but there's also it's waiting for something to happen. So we're just going to leave it there until this is sorted out, and then we can actually work out what we're going to do. Then you can come on banking. So with banking, you can select the accounts. You can import the transaction or you can enter the transaction manually. We recommend you import transaction. All you need to do is get a CSV file. Get a CSV file. Bring it here, and you can see that. Before we do that, I'm just going to clear that for a minute. I'm going to upload some sales invoices that I've prepared earlier from another place. So if we can import sales invoices from another place as well. We can come here, upload sales invoices. It will import all the sales invoices depending on what we have. So for example, invoice date, invoice number we don't have. We have invoice date. We have customer name. So we have it as property. We have invoice. We have the details. We have the net, which is subtotal. We have the VAT, which is VAT, and then we have the total, which is total. Then we just map it and upload it. As you can see, all that invoices automatically being created 1, 2, 3, 4. And we just have to add missing information, and then we can choose where this invoice is outstanding, or we can also choose which account it wants to go to. But for now, for this thing, we're just going to import it. Obviously, there's an error because this is an error with the amount. So we just have to correct this because this is wrong, and the system will automatically do it. So if there's an error, it will tell you there's an error. So you will know where you are with it. Then you'll bring those bank statements here. So for now, we looked at sales overview. You could see those invoices being imported. And because the invoice number has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it will be imported the same way. So if you want to change it, you'll have to do action here and then change it one by one. So you have to be careful when you import that all the numbers are the same. Otherwise, there will be a problem with 1001. So that should be 100002. That will be 100003. This thing you have to be very careful when you do an invoice for MRA, because MRA will have a specific requirement that you cannot come back and change invoice number or change date on it. So you have to be very careful. Once you've done MRA e-invoicing, you won't be able to do anything about that. So you have to be very careful that all the invoices that you're sending are correct and the dates are correct, because you won't be able to do post-dated invoices or previous invoices as well. So put it as invoice numbers. So that'll be number 6, 100006. Refresh the page, you can see it's been changed. This one will be 10005. You could see all the customers already been created as well, so you don't need to create a customer again. So once you upload the invoice from a list of invoices, you upload everything together, so you don't need to do it over again. So all these invoices are sitting on here. Then what you're going to do is you're going to bring the bank statements, because all this money has been paid into the bank account. So you upload the bank statements, you can match it again, give you all the information, map those bank statements. And you can see some transaction here. You can click that display, then it's automatically see if there's a similar transaction, it will automatically go the same way. Add missing reference. And so for example, if I do TransferWise here, this is the cost of sales and purchases. Select save, it will tell you there's 3 more transactions with the same TransferWise. Do you want to put them in the same place? With yes, and he's automatically do it for you. Now you could see there's invoice 2, invoice 3. This was supposed to be paid. We'll come to that in a minute. But any expenses that you want to sort out, you might as well do it here. It's easier. But if you forget to do it here, don't worry. You can always, there's another place you can also do that. So this will be wages and salaries. Yes. You want wages and salaries again. And if there's more than one transaction, it will tell you. There's also some sales invoices, some other transaction. So for example, this is transfer from accounts. So you're transferring from another account to the current account. So you will select bank and you select deposit account, for example, and you will save and it will tell you there's more transaction like that. Would you like to do that? And we press yes. There's a check as well. So if you know what the check is being paid, you can do it now or you can do it later. There's all the other expenses, as you could see. All you have to do is just press import and save. Once you've done that, you have the chance to review the data. So here you get the chance, you said, okay, do I have any invoices to match with this payment? And unfortunately, there isn't for this one yet. But if you look at Selhurst Timber, it will tell you, look, there's a purchases here that was done. Do you want to match it? Yes, I want to match it. And that suddenly will pay the purchases as well here. So if you come back on purchase overview, you will see this invoice has been paid already because we've done it from the banking and you've automatically been paid here. We have the same here. We know there's an invoice for Daisy, but there's a different amount here. So we cannot really match it, but unless we know this is the amount, then we press yes. We match it. Still full amount left. So this one hasn't been fully been paid, so we need to be careful about the amount because there's £2 difference on it. So either we go back and change it or we do the transaction manually. Unless the amount are automatically checked, we won't be able to do that. Now, for instance, if this person, I said, okay, we've only paid Daisy this amount, right? But on the bank statements, they were this amount because they've taken two more pound from you. So you can say, okay, we'll come back here. We'll change this invoice because they charge us £2 more. We'll put it on the so that's become the same amount. Save it. And we can refresh it here. It says the same amount will be on the banking. Now if we refresh that, you will see there's a match. We can match this transaction now. So if it's the wrong amount, you won't be able to match. If it's the right amount, you will be able to match. Here again, the same thing. You can select, you can say, okay, yeah, that's the correct amount, that's the right thing. We're going to match it, and it's going to pay. It's the same thing you could do with the income. So for instance, there's an invoice that you done at the same time. You could see, oh yeah, this was £1,000. I want to match it. This is the right invoice number. You match it. It'll be the same for this invoice. You might look around and say, oh yeah, there's another invoice, or there's no invoice, so I cannot do anything about that. So if there's an invoice, you will see the list of invoices here which you can match. If there's no invoices, you won't be able to do anything. So there's two ways of doing it always. You can go for the list of invoices and say, yep, this is the list of invoices. I can match it. It's not the list of invoices. Then I can just do the transaction. So if you want to do a transaction here, you can say, okay, this is a payment to my credit card. So you do a transfer to your bank, and we can create an account here. We call it credit card. Save it. So if that's already exists, you have to put something in front of it. Once you've done that, you just add. You will take it over there. You can do the same with this transaction again. Transfer bank. Afterwards credit card. Add. Again, you will do the same thing. So if there's any transaction to match, you can match. There's no transaction, you can do it manually. For example, this one, there's a transaction we can match. We'll match it. If there's no transaction we cannot match, then we'll leave it at that. So you can see here all these invoices, some of them has been paid, some of them hasn't been paid, but there's various values. So 24.45 we're looking for. So you can look at your banking, 24.45. Yep, we can match this. There's another one, £5.72. We can match again. So that's how it's easy is make it for you to match all these transactions so that you get paid, or you do it manually. So for example, we haven't paid Jumbo, so Jumbo is not here, so we won't be able to do anything with that. If you've got any accounts that you want to put those expenses in, so for example, you have a loan, you can put it under your loan account. You can add it like this. If there's a check, you pay the check to an accountant. You know you paid your accountant. Just select. But the best thing is to have the invoice to match it. But if you don't have the invoice, you can also just enter it as an expense. Now, if you think, okay, I forgot to do an invoice, I can do an invoice. You can always enter an invoice manually. So you can just enter an invoice manually, put the supplier name. So, for example, uh, Inspired Motive Limited. Copy that. Open another tab. Add supplier. Save. Can do an invoice. Can put any number I want. Just need to make sure the dates are correct. So the date will be near about. So it's going to be the 3rd of March. So this invoice cannot be after the 3rd of March. It has to be before. Otherwise, the system will not know that there was an invoice. Accountancy. So advertising. 1,000. That was, yeah, we put £1,200. At the bank, that was £1,200, no, £1,800. Sorry, so that was £1,800. Can come back here, delete that, come back here, change it to £1,800. Save. Now, if you come back to banking, you refresh that, you would see there's an invoice here, sitting here to say, do you want to pay this invoice? Yes, I want to pay it. And you can do that. Now, if you don't want to do anything else, you can leave it here. But if you want to do something, you can always do it here as well. So it depends where you are with your bookkeeping. But most transactions that we've edited, it's already been entered here. And if you're happy with this transaction and we're happy with the review data, we think that's it. We don't need to do anything else. We can stop here. But if we think, okay, we've missed certain transactions, we're going to always do them here. If we don't have a receipt for something, we can always just do them like this. And if there's a deposit, you think, oh, that's an income, but I forgot to do an invoice for it. You can always go back and create an invoice, or you leave it as it is. You keep it as an income. Advice is always, because of the invoicing and everything else, to create an invoice. So if I come back and I change this to 15 of the 3rd, 2,500. So this one, I'll have to change it in a different way because I've already put it something else as a quote. So we can come back here and change it. And you can see we've done on the banking. Come back on the banking, we'll refresh it, and then we'll have an invoice that we can say we want to match. So if the date is wrong, we won't be able to match it. So because the invoice is after that date, so you cannot have an invoice after the date that it was issued. So it has to be within the date. So if we change the date here to March, save, and voila, we refresh it. Now we come back here, we refresh this as well, and you will suddenly see that it will give us the option to have an invoice before, because why is it not giving me the option to have an invoice before? What the date I put on it? 15. 1502. Should have it here. 15. 03. 1503. You matched. Yeah, there's an issue. It's not giving me this invoice. I need to change the date on it. Should be able to give me more matches. We'll see what's the problem with that later on. Seems to be an issue with that. Here we can put some more expenses. If it's a current liability, if it's a lease or something or some other. So if you want to add a new one, you can always add a new one. Just make sure you add it in the right place and you choose the right number. Save it. And here you can have Barclays partner loan. Add income. See, here is giving you no thing. So if you want to add it like that, you can add it like this. You can add the transaction as well. Check payment. Again, you could either have it with a bill or you can actually just add it like this. Income deposit. If there's no matching, just do it like this. This is if it's bank charges, you just select your bank charges because you won't have anything anywhere to put it. And then you have an invoice number 4, which we don't have any match for. All the invoice we have is here. So for that you can just put this transaction as it is here. Cost of sales, purchases, we don't have anything. Income, other operating income. So all that is gone into your bank. So you could see your balance here on the 10th of the 4th. But if we do want to do a bank reconciliation, we'll look at the bank. We're going to report bank reconciliation. No reconciliation. Select the bank account we want to use, the ending balance. This one, the date was 31st of 2024. Start reconciling. We give you a list. There's no difference, which means that the reconciliation is good. Selected all the transaction, complete reconciliation. And here you have the report for your bank reconciliation, which you can export in an Excel format. Tell you how many receipts you have for the period, how many expenses you had for the period. Then you can also produce your VAT return. Again, you come to the VAT tab, click on New VAT Return, press O1, the date that you want to do, which is normally the period that we are doing. Select here, it will tell you the VAT. And again, you can export it, you can look at the value, how much money you got from HMRC, from your customer, how much money was exempt, how much was VATable, how much was exempt, and that's it. Should be able to do all of that. And then if you want to receive any payments outside those bank statements, you can always receive them. So for example, let's say we assume this money was received after the 10th of April. So both of them was received after the 10th of April. It's a receipt payment. '15th of April, deposit account, receive money. This one was received. You can't go in the future, so you have to go in the past. You can use a current account, receive money, and that's all sorted out. Then you come to your profit and loss. You see all your reporting here. But the financial year, all the money you've got, all the expenses, all the accounts, all your profit. Come to the balance sheet. Then you will see all your transaction here. Just select the financial year you're looking at. Work it all out. Go to trial balance. Again, you get all the information. Everything should always balance. And you can go through a duplicate report. You can go through your transaction report. You can go through all various reports that you want to do. You got any questions? Yes? Yes, so the general ledger account Yes. So the code for the record, yes, you can put them manually. They will always be put manually. If you don't put anything, they will automatically generate one for you. But generally, we suggest you put it manually. It's always a 5 digit, and you always need to be on the section of the accounts that we want to be. So 2,000 would be fixed asset, 1,000 would be bank, 21,000 would be current asset, 30,000 would be current liabilities, 31,000 would be liabilities, 40,000 is income, etc. Yes. Yes, because the reporting works on these systems. Yes. Yes. So this banking part shows you a list of expenses on income, which you can also export as an Excel spreadsheet. And this information tell you that this was imported, this was reconciled, this is in a VAT return. Yes. Yes, that's correct. So when you import the bank statement, there's always the option to review the data and then match it. So for example, if you made a mistake, yes, you upload the bank statement with the CSV file here. You will do it here. Now let's say you said, oh, well, I made a mistake because this, I have an invoice form. So you can undo it here, and then you can come back and it will sit here as a data for review. And then you can put the invoice. And once you put the invoice, you could actually work it out for you. Okay? Yeah? No, no, you have to write your own bank. You add your own bank, you put your own banks. You can write it here. That's right. Information is compulsory, so you have to have a bank name. Yes, yeah, you can come and edit here. You can click on edit here, and you can update the information you want to do. So, for example, you want to call deposit account NCB and just update it. Yeah, yeah, here. So yeah, so I can put it as 1,000, and then it will automatically go to next one. So, for example, now there's one 5, so 100 and 005. We create the next one is going to be 100 006 or 7 in this case because we've already got the next invoice. Yeah, by default it generates the next invoice. Yeah, that's because I imported the. That's because if someone imported the invoices and the invoices are wrong, you can always edit it. Because if you're importing from a list, you can always import the wrong invoice because you might look at say, oh, I've got a list of invoices here, but the invoice doesn't match up. Now, all this is allowed outside MRA invoicing, but with MRA invoicing, this is not allowed, by the way. So this is for normal customers who will not be on MRA invoicing. But if they are on MRA invoicing, they will not be allowed to change any invoice number or invoice date. once you create an invoice for MRA invoicing, you won't be able to go back and change it. Yeah. So this is just for people who are not on MRA invoicing, but once you are on MRA invoicing, you won't be able to do that. And there's no limit as such, but we don't put more than I think 10 characters, so you can always go back to 10 characters. You could see so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so 10 characters. So you can always put 10 characters because it's yeah. So you can put up to 10 characters, and also you can have a term, you can have references. Yes, unlimited users. So if you want to manage your users here, you can click here and add, for example, okay, I want to add someone here. And just put their email address. Just put the country code. It's very important we select country code, and then we'll just put the telephone number. So here you can just put the telephone number fine. Then you can put it as an admin access or secondary access. Put a password, and then press save user, and then the user can automatically have access to it. So yeah, so if we log in as Mary, so if I just do a so here's the Nubooks.mu as a private file, login, Mary at newbooks.mu. You should get an OTP in a minute, Maricison. You've got an OTP? Is that the right number? 585617. It's on the office one, yeah, office mobile, right? I resent it. There we go. So now you can log in, see all the transactions that we've done so far. You could see all the transactions that we've gone through. You could basically see everything that we've done. So here, you could see this exactly the same thing, but we are saying you could see the same. And you can do exactly the same. Pretty cool, right? And you can log in. So yeah, that's what we have as a demo. Then you have quotation, you have purchase orders as well, which you can get people to authorize. You can create purchase order, someone else can authorize it. And then, yeah, you can upload your information. And then you can see your subscription, what kind of subscription you have, when does it run out. This is a client subscription. which means that the client pays a subscription. You can have an accountant subscription. You can upgrade as well if you want. And you have a card. Normally, if you would have a card. So yeah, so that's the banking. They give you the dashboard with all the information that you've done. Want to look at last financial year, this financial year? We give you everything. So yeah, all information sit on the server and you can choose. Any more questions, Julia? Okay, good. So we